All right, everyone, and welcome back for now beginning of day 2 videos. And for day 2, we are going to do some focused review on Unit 7 from this our green textbook, and we are still going to use the white workbook for doing some review and practice. So for segment 1 today, let's focus on Lesson A review from Unit 7. For segment 2, let's focus on Lesson B review. So lessons B and C always relate to grammar. And for Lesson B, we will talk about modals and giving advice. You remember we've talked about this a lot. So could, should, might want to. So different modals to give advice. And the third segment, let's focus on Lesson C review. So do you remember that Unit 7, we talked about shopping? And you might remember for every unit in this term, I started with a PowerPoint presentation and gave you some introduction to all the vocabulary, as well as some cultural idioms or colloquial expressions. So how about I jog your memory, okay? Jog your memory or pull out from your memory some of the vocab that we talked about in Unit 7. Okay, for example, afford. Remember this meaning? Able to pay for something. We had balance, which can be a noun or a verb. We talked about your checking account balance. In this case, it's a noun. Or I need to balance my checkbook. Verb. What about cash? An expression is cold hard cash, meaning just only the paper money would be needed or is essential. So cash. We also talked about some phrasal verbs like cash in, cash out. So if you remember those. Then we talked about credit. This can also be a noun or a verb. Normally we talk about it as a noun. I might ask someone the question, what's your credit score? Actually, a bank may ask you this question before they give you a loan. What's your credit score? So in that case, we're using it as a noun. If someone says, can you credit my account? Credit the refund to my account. In that case, it's a verb. So we also talked about financing. So we could use this also as a noun or verb if I say, he works in the financing department. So a compound noun or finance department. Financing, however, it's most common as a verb. I need to finance my home. How am I going to pay for my home and pay the bills each month? We had the term interest as a noun. Do you remember this meaning? So gaining or building equity or value over time. Okay, and we had a phrasal verb, pay off. Pay off. In the USA, many young adults need to pay off their student debt. Very big problem in this country. We have suggests. Okay, this form is a verb. The noun, suggestion. You might also remember some of the idioms that we talked about. For example, window shopping, bargain hunting, bargain hunter. Okay, it's a steal. What a deal. That's the meaning. So see if you can remind yourself, reflect back on some of those words that we introduced in Unit 7. And so at this time, how about we go to our workbook? Okay, and we're going to start on page 78. And let's start with a little bit more listening practice. And since we have already learned these words in the past, let's take a listening goal to catch the vocabulary. So as you listen, try to hear these words, as many as you can. And also, let's take a moment to quickly skim these questions. So I will read the questions, you read the answers to yourself. Number 1, Sophia wants to buy a refrigerator. What's the problem? Okay, we have this answer already, which is D. She doesn't have enough money. All right, so the number 2 question, I will read, you skim. What does Jackie think Sophia should do? All right, we have 2 people in a conversation for this listening practice. Number 3, which statement is true? Read those to yourself. Number 4, which statement is true? Again, okay, so relating to Sophia or Jackie, what do they say? All right, so are you ready? Let's listen together just once. I am using this cue reader on page 78. And you can listen again if you like, but let's listen once together.
Unit 7, Shopping. Page 78. Exercise 1.
Do you use your credit card a lot?
Yes, all the time. I have 4 cards.
Really? Isn't it difficult to pay them off? The interest rates are so high.
I never charge more than $100 on each card.
I'm thinking about buying a new refrigerator, but I can't afford it.
Why don't you buy it on credit? You can pay for it later.
I don't want to get into debt. We already have to pay off our car loan.
Maybe you could look in the newspaper or online and find a used refrigerator.
That's a good idea.
Okay, pause here. So what are Sophia and Jackie talking about? Okay, credit cards, interest rates, and somebody's trying to buy a new refrigerator. Who's that? Okay, it's Sophia. And so we know this basic discussion, so let's get more specific. Starting with number 2. What does Jackie think Sophia should do? Since that she wants to buy a refrigerator, should she take out a loan or get a new credit card? Maybe pay off her car loan instead? Or buy a used refrigerator? Okay, and the answer is right here. Find a used refrigerator. D is the answer. So number 3, which statement is true about Sophia? A, she wants a new credit card. B, she never borrows money. C, she's worried about getting into debt. And D, needs to borrow money for her car loan. So what did she talk about? C, she's worried about getting into debt. Where do we find this answer? And I'm looking at this page towards the bottom. We see here Sophia talking. You can't see clearly, I'm sorry. She says, I don't want to get into debt. We already have to pay off our car loan. Okay, so number 4, what's true about Jackie? Okay, she never uses a credit card. She has more than one credit card. She uses her credit card every day. Or D, she spends too much on her credit card. Okay, and also I will ask you, where do you find the answer? And the answer is B. She has more than one credit card. Okay, where does she say that? Towards the beginning. I have 4 cards. All right, she's a credit card junkie. Sounds like she has quite a few credit cards. Okay, so did you notice or hear any of the vocabulary that we quickly reviewed? We saw credit. We saw, what else? On credit. We saw debt. How about anything else? What about pay off? Okay, we saw pay off. All right, I hope that's a little bit good chance to listen to pronunciation, trying to notice vocabulary, and think a little bit more about this shopping topic that we discussed before. So let's go ahead to page 79 at the very top, and we see some of these vocabulary words here. So we'll do a quick review. Please pause the video at this time. Try to fill in the blank, and then we will check it together. Okay? So number 1, that car cost $30,000. We can't, what is it? Afford it. Number 2, I'll buy the refrigerator on is a common collocation with the next answer. Credit. I don't want to use my savings. The third one, you should pay, what is it? Cash for food. Don't use your credit card. Do you agree or disagree? Number 4, the blank rate for the loan is too high. So what do you think? Interest rate, meaning that every time I use it, I have to pay more from the interest. 5, if we blank the loan in 6 months, there's no interest. Phrasal verb, pay off. Pay off. Number 6, the last one. At the end of the month, the blank in my bank account is usually low. Balance. Balance. Okay, just a little bit of review there with vocabulary. So how about we skip the following exercise and quickly go to part 4. It's a little bit more of a listening practice. So let me ask you to quickly skim this part, and you will notice that we have different amounts of money. Okay, so look for, as you skim, a key word.
Page 79.
Page
Exercise
79.
4.
Okay, before we listen, let's find a key word in each question. What words jump out to you? Number 1, price, TV, taxes, installation. So here the nouns, the main nouns are standing out. What about number 2? Interest rate, loan, okay, and so on. Let's listen once together and you fill in the blank or figure out what is the correct amount here.
Ernesto, look at this TV. It's beautiful. It's so big, 60 inches. I mean, that's like having a movie theater in your living room. And it's only $2,000.
Only $2,000? Sarah, that's expensive. With the taxes and installation, that's about $2,500. We can't afford to spend $2,500 on a TV.
Yes, but it says here we can get special financing for 3 years.
Well, did you see this? The interest rate is 24%. That means we're going to pay almost $100 a month for 36 months. With that, the real cost of the TV is about $3,600.
But Ernesto, we need a TV. Ours is very old, and I'm sure it's not going to last much longer.
Oh, I agree. We need a new TV, but we don't need the most expensive one in the store. Look at this one. It's a nice TV. It's smaller, just 42 inches. But our living room is pretty small, too. It's only $550. We don't need such a large TV.
Well, I guess you're right. I didn't think about the interest.
Yeah, that's one of the problems with these things. People don't stop to add up the cost of the interest on the loan.
Okay. All right. Now, if you were listening closely, you would have noticed in number 1, it was a little bit tricky to catch the answer because they used both prices, $2,000 and $2,500. So as you listened further, you heard a certain number repeated. So what's the answer for number 1? $2,500. And what's the reason? Because of interest, a high interest, meaning you will need to pay more each month. So the second one, the interest rate on the loan for the TV is, what did you catch? 24%. Okay, wow. That's still pretty high for a TV loan, I think. Number 3, the monthly payment on the TV loan would be almost, so if we include interest and the payment, how much? Probably the higher number, $100 per month. And so finally, you heard that they made a compromise. So who was talking? Sounds like maybe a couple, and the wife really wants a new TV. And of course, the husband wants to save money. And so finally, he suggests in number 4, a smaller TV, which costs only how much? $550. Okay. So do they agree and finally choose the cheaper, smaller TV? Yes, they made a marital compromise. So I will challenge you, using the Q reader, listen again to that. And also take this chance to practice jogging your memory and reviewing the vocabulary. Try to hear any vocab words. Take some notes. You can practice taking notes. When we take our final exam in a couple weeks, we will have another listening part on the test. So this can be good practice and review for you. Okay, now, before we finish segment 1 today, let me ask you to take a moment before you start the next video. Take a moment to look at lesson B. Now, it would be a good chance to go back to the Green Ventures student's book and go back to unit 7. Pardon me. There we go. it would be a good chance to go back and refresh your memory about the grammar, especially relating to modals could and should, and so on. So you may also want to try some of the exercises, see how much you can remember from a month or so ago, and then we'll come back and start with lesson B. Okay, I will see you in a few minutes.